Luigi Mangione is due in federal court today. His defense team is trying to have key evidence thrown out and bar the government from seeking the death penalty in the December 2024 killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Joining us now is Anna Cominsky, professor of law at New York Law School. Anna, thank you for being with us. What can we expect from today's federal hearing, and how could it differ from the state case against Mangione?
Good morning. So there's several issues that will be addressed today. We don't know exactly how the court is going to decide to handle these, but the sort of key things that the judge is going to be looking at is, first, whether or not certain charges should be dismissed. Second, whether or not the death penalty was unconstitutionally imposed in this case, or whether it should be precluded from being used. And then finally, whether the contents of that backpack should be suppressed. Those are the big issues that are in front of the court.
Now, the defense has been arguing for evidence and statements taken at Mangione's arrest to be thrown out. Could this hearing bring us closer to a decision on that?
Well, so keep in mind that the state case is separate from the federal case. So although there are similar issues, right, the suppression issues are the same, the federal court has to make a decision independent from the state court and vice versa. So we may find out something about the state court before the federal court, or the other way around. Either way, those are independent decisions from each other.
Now, Mangione's attorneys say authorities prejudiced the case against him by turning his arrest into a Marvel movie spectacle. Is that something that the judge could take into consideration?
Well, the judge is going to certainly think about whether or not anything that the government has done is going to taint the case in any way, in particular when it comes to jury selection. It's very important that we have a fair and impartial jury. And so the judge is going to take that seriously. And then in particular with respect to whether or not the death penalty should be, applicable in this case, the court is going to have to weigh the arguments about whether or not there's a conflict of interest with respect to U.S. Attorney General Bondi.
Now, speaking more about that, Mangione's team wants one of the charges, murder by firearm, thrown out, the charge that allows the government to seek the death penalty. So what other arguments could they use to support the claim this charge is legally flawed?
Right. So that argument in particular is very law specific. It really has to do with whether or not there was a crime of violence that was being committed in connection, with the murder. And so there's a lot of case law that interprets that, and that's going to be a very technical legal argument, different from some of the factual arguments that you'll see surrounding like the suppression hearing. All
right, Anna Cominsky, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Today's hearing begins at 11, and for everything you need to know about the case, head to our website, cbsnewyork.com.